I'm sorry, she said, reaching for the tissue box. I didn't mean to cry. I hear this in almost every session clients apologizing for their tears, as if grief should be neat and dry, as if showing emotions is something to be embarrassed about. But here's what I always tell them: please don't apologize. This is exactly what's supposed to happen. When I see tears in the session, I don't see weakness or loss of control. I see processing. I see grief moving through someone instead of staying stuck inside of them. Tears are one of the clearest signs that healing work is happening. Yet, so many people fight them. They blink hard, they hold their breath, they push the wave back down. Some tell me they're afraid that if they start crying, they'll never stop. Others worry they're crying too much, that something must be wrong with them. After nearly a decade of walking alongside grieving people, I can tell you this: these fears are unfounded every single time. What if those tears aren't a sign of weakness? What if they're actually doing something that your body desperately needs? Now, here's the science your body already knows. Your body produces three different types of tears. Basal tears keep your eyes lubricated. Reflex tears flush out irritants like dust or onion fumes. But emotional tears, they're chemically different. Emotional tears contain higher concentrations of stress hormones, cortisol, adrenocorticotropic hormone, ACTH, and adrenaline. They also contain leucine and enkephalin, a natural painkiller that your body produces. When you cry, you're not just releasing water, you're releasing the very chemicals that built up during your distress. Think about that for a moment. Your body created a delivery system specifically designed to flush out stress hormones. This is not a flaw, it's a feature. This is the release valve that you were born with. I think of crying like a pressure release valve on a boiler. Grief builds, it accumulates in your body, in your chest, your throat, your gut. Anyone who has ever grieved knows this feeling, that heaviness that settles in and doesn't leave. Your body can only hold so much before something has to give. When you finally let the tears flow, you're opening that valve. The pressure releases, the built up stress hormones exit through your tears, and your body shifts from tension to relief. Now, what happens when you let yourself cry? Research shows that crying activates your parasympathetic nervous system, the part responsible for rest, recovery, and relaxation. It's the opposite of fight or flight. And here's what's cool: studies found that while crying initially activates some stress responses, the calming effect lasts 2 to 3 minutes longer than the stress response. Your nervous system essentially resets. Crying also triggers the release of oxytocin and endorphins. Oxytocin, sometimes called the bonding hormone, promotes feelings of calm and well being. Endorphins are your body's natural painkillers. This is why, after a good cry, you often feel lighter, exhausted maybe, but lighter. The crying sucks, but the after effects, oh, they're so worth it. Your body knew what it was doing all along. Grief is what we feel, mourning is what we do. There's an important distinction here. Grief is the internal experience, the love with nowhere to go, the weight, the longing. It's what happens to us. Mourning is the outward expression of that grief, it's what we do with it. Crying is mourning. It's one of the most natural, most ancient ways. Crying is mourning. It's one of the most natural, most ancient ways humans have processed loss. Crying is mourning. It's one of the most natural, ancient ways that humans have processed loss. When you're crying, you're not wallowing, you're metabolizing. Grief doesn't disappear if you ignore it, it has to move through you. It has to be transformed from one thing to another, from raw pain into something your body can integrate and carry. Crying is one of the ways that transformation happens. But what if I never stop? This is the fear I hear most often. If I start crying, I'll never stop. I'll drown in it. I'll lose myself completely. I understand this fear. I've felt it myself. But here's what I've learned after, again, nearly a decade of walking alongside grieving people. I have never met anyone who started crying and never stopped. Not one. Tears are like waves, they rise, they crest, and they fall. Now, another may come and another after that, but each one eventually recedes. Your body knows how to regulate this. It's been doing it since the day you were born. Another question: am I crying too much? Well, let me ask you this. Can you shed too many tears for someone who is that special to you? Can you love too much? Can you miss them too deeply? There's no quota on grief, no correct amount of tears. Your relationship was and is unique. Your loss is unique. Your mourning will be unique too. What feels like too much to someone else might be exactly what your heart needs. The question isn't really whether you're crying too much. The question is whether you're allowing yourself to cry enough. Something shifts over time. Here's what I've noticed in myself and in many others that I've walked alongside. The crying doesn't stop because you've moved on or forgotten. It changes because you change. As you begin to see your loss differently, as you integrate it into your story, as you find new meaning, as you recognize that love doesn't end with death, the she- as you begin to see your loss differently, as you integrate it into your story, as you find new meaning, as you recognize that love doesn't end with death, the tears shift too. The early tears are often about the rawness of absence. The early tears are often about the rawness of absence. The later tears might be about gratitude or connections or a moment when you feel them close. The tears don't stop because grief ends. They transform because you're transforming. Now, what if the tears don't come? Some people struggle to cry even when they want to. Grief can feel frozen, stuck, locked inside with no way out. If this is you, know that there's nothing wrong with you. Some of us learned early that tears weren't safe. Some of us are wired differently. Crying isn't the only way to mourn. Movement, creativity, talking, writing, ritual, these are all forms of metabolizing grief. Your body will find the way that's right for it. But if you feel the tears building up and you keep pushing them down, consider letting them flow. You might be surprised at the relief waiting on the other side. So, I want to give you permission to grieve. Here's what I want you to know: your tears aren't weakness, they're wisdom. Your body is designed to help you heal. So, I'm going to give you permission to mourn. Here's what I want you to know: your tears aren't weakness, they're wisdom. Your body designed them to help you heal. The stress hormones, the natural painkillers, the activation of your calming nervous system, it's all there for a reason. Crying is one of the most powerful tools you have for processing loss. It's not something to overcome, it's something to allow. So the next time you feel that pressure building, that wave rising, consider letting it come. I guarantee you, you won't drown, you'll release. If this resonates with you, I'd love to hear your experience. When has a good cry helped you move through your grief? Share in the comments. And if you know someone who might need permission to let their tears flow, please share this with them. Grief doesn't follow stages, timelines, or rules. And if you've ever wondered, am I doing this right? You're not alone. That's why I created the Grief Check In. It's not a test, there are no right or wrong answers. It's simply a gentle way to understand how grief may be showing up for you right now. In just a few minutes, you'll gain clarity and language for what you're experiencing without judgment, labels, or pressure to move on. If you're wondering where you are in grief, this is a safe place to look. Go to grieftogrowth.com/check-in. That's grief, numeral 2, growth.com/check-in.